down to Biscayne.
Yikes. Five on the floor, ride for my dogs. Where here's the thing, you can check the score. Hustle hard, couple scars, wearing rubber frauds. Just like Butler said, you in trouble, y'all. Kept the flow playing, got it all band. Y'all seen the block, stop with one hand. And Pat, we trust, it's power, have the guts. We're here to bring the heat, y'all can hang it up.
Welcome to Five on the Floor, a daily insider show on the Miami Heat and the NBA, featuring Ethan Skolnick, Greg Sylvander, and Alex Toledo, plus others from the 5 Reasons Sports Network.
Welcome back to another episode of Five on the Floor Live, the official post-game show of the 5 Reasons Sports Network. We come to you directly after the Miami Heat's 112-111, unlikely, super hilarious, and at times excruciating victory over the Oklahoma City Thunder at home. With me on tonight's show, we have Alex Toledo. You can follow him on Twitter at Tropical Blanket. And then we also have Sean Rochester at SRochesterNBA. The floor plan, we're going to go over the game, dissect a little bit of what we saw, talk a little bit about Jimmy Butler, maybe look ahead towards the end of the episode, and definitely take some questions out there. But before we do any of that stuff, I want to shout out one of our great sponsors of this program, particularly the postgame show, and that is our friend Lynette at A Aggressive Insurance. They are an insurance broker agency that's been servicing South Florida for over 15 years. They offer auto insurance, homeowners insurance, condo, life insurance, retirement programs, even free notary service to all clients. They represent the leading insurance carriers throughout South Florida. So if you have a bad driving record, no problem. No driver is refused. Free phone quotes. Insurance by Lynette, that's with 2 N's and 2 T's.com, insurancebylynette.com. Find her on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. She's probably in the comments of this show right now. Check out Lynette at A Aggressive Insurance. All right, so that was, I guess, the good news is they escaped. The bad news is that was pretty hard to watch. I don't know really where I want to start. But before we even get into the game, I think we need to start here. In the first half of that game, Dwyane Deadman entered and had a few of the most clueless possessions I had seen in some time. Checked out, looked like he got into some sort of disagreement with the coaching staff, stormed off away from the bench after this disagreement. And through one of those, for all of you who are listening, Sean is showing all of our viewers what was thrown onto the court, kind of like a massage, like a portable massage machine. I don't know what the heck you call that. But it looked like him and Spoelstra got into it. Malik Allen was in his face. Caron Butler was right there. I don't know what's going to happen there. It looked like he stormed off in frustration. Eric Spoelstra said this is a random Tuesday on a Miami Heat bench. Alex, I'll start with you on this situation. I have a feeling we may not see him come back. I don't know why I have that feeling. Maybe because it's just so inevitable that we think he's going to be dealt. But what were your takeaways when you saw that happen? And you're around the team more than I am, frankly. So I'm interested to just hear, like, Dwyane Deadman was described on Twitter by Barry Jackson tonight as often angry or something like that. And I'm interested. You get to see him more than I do. What do you see from Dwyane Deadman on a regular basis when you're in the arena?
So let me, because I want to do this right. Okay. But I'm in no way am I slandering Barry Jackson or his work, because his work is, elite. He's been doing it for years. Right. And for real, he's everything he does. I'm a big fan of his work. I definitely did not agree with the way that he was kind of describing Deadman there. It felt like a little bit of a cheap shot. He can have his opinion. Like, if he feels like Dwyane Deadman is always in a foul mood, like, he's around the team more than me, and that's for damn sure. So, I'm going to defer to him there, but that's just not the way that I've seen it. It seems like more he's somebody who is always talking, and it kind of reminds me of when Myers Leonard was here. Different attitudes, right? I'm not saying they're the same type of personality, but it's guys who you're always going to hear their voice. They're always talking. Dwyane Deadman, it's more of like shit talking, right? And I know we don't curse on this show, so excuse me, but that's just kind of the best way that I can put it. Like, he's always just talking trash to people there, and it's, messing around. So that's why I thought it was a little bit of a weird tweet. But, it just comes at a time where everybody has kind of agreed that Deadman is the worst player in the rotation on a night-to-night basis. And it's been a talking point for months at this point. And, he had a bad stretch there. Excuse my nasal voice, but that's why I'm not at the game tonight. But he had a bad stretch there. And
what is this deal in the back of that zone? What is up with this, Sean? Like, coach this dude up. What is happening on the back of the 2-3 zone there where he just gets lost behind him a couple?
You would think a zone would help him because he doesn't have to move so much, but it's even a zone is too much movement.
And obviously in the NBA, you can't, park down there like you can in a high school zone and sit in the middle. But like, I know Wes Goldberg from Locked On Heat posted a video of the possession before the whole thing on the bench. And he gives look, Deadman's effort sometimes is questionable across the board, but this possession was like, what is this guy doing? Is he trying? It's check out Wes's tweet for that, because it's mind blowing. And I think that's, the coaching staff holding him accountable, and he stood up for himself. I mean, I think that's what it boils down to. But I think to Alex's point, there has to be more behind the scenes. Like, this isn't just about not stepping over and rotating and not stepping over and getting a defensive rebound. There's more that's been boiling, and now this is the moment that it kind of exploded. Oh,
you don't think it's just a regular Tuesday night, like Spo described it?
I don't ever really buy that it's like not a big deal, because I kind of feel like, I don't know, the best Heat teams, I guess there's always been like little spats, but there's also, you were like 12 games above 500, or you ascended to that point. And so I guess we'll have to see where this season goes. But as it's been so far, I just think it's a little bit of a different circumstance when you are, around 500. And but because it's Dwyane Deadman, I think you're seeing its frustration from a player who's been struggling finally boil over. He reads Twitter, and social media in general. He knows the box plus minus stuff. Dwyane Deadman is also a really bright dude. From the little bit of interactions I've had with him when they've traveled on the road around here in Charlotte. So he's a
cool guy. I can confirm.
Yeah, exactly. So like I don't want to like slander him as a person at all or anything like that. And I feel like, like that's sometimes where this ends up, unfortunately. And so unfortunately it's now bled over to the bench, and I don't know what's going to happen if they'll come through with a suspension. Did you see
when the ball went through his hands early in the game?
Yeah.
I mean,
it hasn't been good. It just hasn't. There's no way around it. And the good thing is that his contract is easily movable. It was signed to basically be used in a trade. So we'll just have to see the magnitude with which that trade is. Like, I think everyone wants it to be a big swing, and I have a feeling that it may be less than that, but we shall see. But I think this may be the end of the Dwyane Deadman experience for Miami Heat fans. But we'll see going forward.
Do you think they promote gears. Orlando Robinson tomorrow to like a standard contract?
Right. I mean, UD has to be able to play. I mean, what are we doing here? Like, they got to play him. What are we doing?
Such a troll, man. Like, he plays UD over Jovic a couple times this season, but on a night like this, when Deadman, gets ejected and they literally don't have a backup center, he doesn't go
size completely down. Size down, and you know why it was? It was because Jimmy Butler basically was just going to get to the free throw line over and over and over. The Miami Heat actually broke the NBA record for most made free throws consecutively in a game, 40 for 40. That was a record held since 1982. That was the year I was born. And Jimmy Butler was insane. I took the over on Prize Picks, used the code 5 on his 7 made free throw shots. And he made, I think it was 14 in the first half. He finished 23 of 23 for the game. Sean, back to you on Jimmy Butler's night, because it was frustrating to watch the rest of this team. Let's not we don't have to be shy about it. 39% from the field, 30% from three. It wasn't pretty, but Jimmy Butler got the job done. It looked like it was over 2, and Jimmy Butler stepped up. So I'm interested to hear you wax poetic about Jimmy Butler for a little bit on this show. We're searching for positives.
Yeah, I mean, you just go right down the box score: 35 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, 3 blocks, only 2 turnovers, only 1 foul in 38 minutes. He probably will take a day off later this week because of this, I would assume, but he had it going tonight. He just found ways. Obviously, that last shot is the one that everybody's going to think about, the getting the and one, giving the little up fake to the rookie, getting contact and banking it in, and then just knocking down his free throws. That's what you need out of him. Obviously, you don't want to need it against the Thunder on an every night basis, but hey, we got to win. That's all that matters.
Talk about it. Just a sludge. I don't even know. I want to say slugfest, but it felt like a sludge fest of NBA basketball. I don't even know if that's a word. It is late, but it was not pretty. I mean, the only positives really were, I guess, you continue to see Oladipo continue to play well. Jimmy Butler did his thing, inefficient as it was. He still got the job done. And then Max Strus, 4 of 12 from 3. I guess that got inflated, Alex. But the early rim attempts I thought were key for him to start getting back into some sort of a groove. You're starting to see him shoot better. What did you like from Max Strus tonight, particularly early?
Exactly what you're talking about there. Just his ability to, as time has gone by, get better and better at reading what defenses are doing to, how they're playing him in general and just reacting from there and playing simple basketball, really. Like when guys overplay him, he's done a better job of using some of that, acreage to kind of muscle his way towards the rim. And then it's just touch from there. And, he had one today where it was, I don't remember what the exact move was. I'm trying to remember it right now, but when he made the move, I was like, oh, where did that come from? And then he finished at the rim with a soft touch, and just things like that where it's just read and react basketball. And so it takes away from having to, all your shots needing to be threes and the variance that comes with that, right? You saw the stretches where it seems like the shot went away. I never believe that. It's just what happens with shooters, especially guys who are overtasked like he's been. So great game for him. Jimmy, even though he wasn't necessarily efficient from the field. I think it's 6 of 17, just barreling his way towards the rim and towards the free throw line time after time after time. And they were so upset about it on the broadcast, and they were joking about it the whole night, by the way. Like Stan Van Gundy, and I rarely ever get the chance to see like a national broadcast like this.
At
right?
home, yeah, because you're always there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Stan Van Gundy is there saying that Jimmy Bucket's nickname is the bad one. What did they say? He should be Jimmy Free Throw or something like that.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
And look, man, it was almost like it felt like a little bit over the top, like if they were taken away from his game. And there's a reason he's there every time, man. He doesn't do none of the Trae Young, James Harden notorious free throw tricks, man. Like he is just barreling into dudes, and he's too much for them. Like he had a quote a couple seasons ago where he's like, I'm stronger than you, and I'm going to show you, and I'm just going to keep doing that, and he shows it, and that is his game. So, just appreciating Jimmy and what he's able to do on a night like tonight without the other 4 starters.
Yeah, no, I think Jimmy Butler said something to the effect of toughness is a skill, and that's my greatest skill, or something to the effect of that. And I think you're onto something there. Gabe Vincent, though, got a big opportunity tonight. I was looking at his numbers on Prize Picks. He actually probably got pretty damn close to his points, rebounds, and assists. Sean, should I start getting worried about Gabe Vincent? Because like now this was a high usage night, 7 turnovers, still not shooting the 3 well. This was a contract year for Max and Gabe, and I kind of feel like Max he's played himself into that. We know he's an NBA ball player, and Gabe is an NBA ball player as well. But I just feel like this was such an opportunity for him that has kind of gone sideways. Am I overreacting? Do you think that this is just he's not shooting well, but the rest of his game is there? What's your perspective on Gabe Vincent?
Yeah, you mentioned the 7 turnovers. Obviously, that's concerning with only 4 assists. You can't have that negative assist to turnover. 13 points on 1 of 6 from behind the arc. The shooting, I still feel like I trust him. Obviously, that one that he made is probably the second part of the biggest game of the play of the game, where Vic got that steal, clear path, 2 free throws. Then they got the ball. Gabe knocks down the 3, gets to 4-point play. That was, I think, the turning point in the game because it was really going sideways at that point. I think he's more destined for being that backup point guard. I think when you put him out there tonight, he played 39 minutes. He starts to get exposed. You start to see his warts, and he's a good player, but I don't think he's a starter level player at this point. So I know the Lowry thing. We've had that discussion. If he was moved out, I don't know if he can be the starting point guard. I think that concerns, but think about what we saw in the playoffs last year. He stepped up. So
see,
I don't want to
that's
make
like
too
the
many.
bummer to me is I felt like coming off the playoffs, Gabe was like rounding into a starting, like at least a spot starter. Alex, am I crazy for that? Like, did I come in with too high of expectations for Gabe? Is it not as bad from your perspective? I don't think I've asked you a Gabe Vincent question. You and I are rarely on shows anymore. What are your takeaways on Gabe's season?
I mean, we just did the midseason grades pod, so everybody could check that out if you haven't already. We graded pretty much everybody in the rotation along with Spo and Pat Riley. So go check that out if you haven't, anywhere you can get podcasts or on YouTube, right? Just trying to be a professional here. But I think Gabe Vincent, the thing with him is I'm not really that down on him. I think he's had a little bit of an up and down season just because of, the nature of being in and out with injuries and just the things that he's gone through, right? But a lot of it ends up coming down to how many threes is he hitting and how many jump shots is he hitting in general. Sometimes he'll get those little middies off the pick and roll, and if he has an off night, I think it's a little bit underwhelming. But it's not really that worrisome to me because in general, I think they benefit from the things that he's good at, being a steady two-way point guard out there, and I just think they're better with him than not as far as the bench unit. And I think he's a plug-and-play type of starter. And I pretty much just agree with Sean. Don't think he's a full-time starter yet. Like, in a world where I think if you made a significant trade for a star and all of a sudden he's like, he's that type of, point guard, right? I think he could do that. But in the scenario we're in right now, I don't think he's a starting point guard.
Yeah, that's just a bummer to me. But there's a lot of season left to be played, and I got frustrated throughout this game multiple times. I think the free throws, the constant free throw shooting, just it starts to wear on you and grind throughout the game. So maybe that's what was getting at me.
By the way, the half court offense was terrible, just because you're talking about how ugly this game was.
I don't even want to hear it. You got cleaning the glass up?
Yeah.
Alex, I haven't seen these shades of blue on cleaning the glass. I thought maybe like my monitor was messed up, but my God, this is like cleaning the glass might be broken after tonight.
The Heat were in the 3rd percentile tonight with their half-court offensive rating, coming out to 72.8 points per 100 possessions in the half court. So, and then you got the Thunder, who weren't that much better at 87.9. So they were much better than the Heat, but still very, very bad. So, both teams just mucking it up out there on offense and getting to the free throw line. But the Heat got to the free throw line twice as many times as the Thunder, and that's kind of the game right there.
It really was. And I promise y'all, I know that y'all look at me and you probably look at Ethan and you probably look at Sean. You don't look at Alex like this. And you think those old heads talking about those old Road Warrior Heat teams. I promise y'all, it was not this frustrating to watch those basketball games back then when it was low scoring and offense was difficult. There was much more of a flow to the game. I'm not going to articulate all the reasons why, but this is not what it was like to watch those teams back then.
Tell me about walking uphill
times of
walking uphill in the snow.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That it's funny that we go there. Let me actually transition to this new segment we're going to do, and it's really a shout out to our official betting sponsor, and that's Better Edge. It's peer-to-peer betting. It's a web-based app, so you don't have an app on your phone initially, but you get it off of the web. Super easy to use. We offer $20 to start playing there. Use the code 5RSN. And what we're going to start bringing onto these shows is we just want to kind of just recap where the Heat closed as it related to where they were against the spread, or the over and under. So Sean's here to recap that. We also have our Setting the Edge competition that we're always doing, where you pick the sides or totals for NFL and NCAA football games. So you want to get in those tournaments with us, competition. It's a lot of fun. We're always in it every single week. So definitely check that out. But that's Better Edge. You can follow them on Twitter, but definitely, and shout out or hit me up if you have any questions about it at all. But Sean, let's hear the final betting numbers for the Heat tonight against the Thunder.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. So the opening line yesterday was Heat minus 4.5, over under 224.5. With the news of all the guys sitting out, it dropped down to Heat minus 2.5, over under 222.5. That number is important because, the game finished at 223. The guys in Vegas, they kind of know what they're doing. So
they're good at this.
Thinking about when you played that, and that's where Better Edge really comes in, because you can make your own line. You're betting against someone else and not the book. So, if the line was closing at 2.5 and you didn't feel comfortable with that, you can propose, Heat -1. And if someone else on the other side is like, yeah, Thunder got this, Heat are sitting all these guys out, they can go ahead and take it. You're not going to pay the juice and the vig like you do at other books. So some of these things we're using terms. Check out Setting the Edge. We talk about that a lot. But in terms of trends, very quick, Heat are now 4-2 over their last 6, also 4-2 against the spread in their last 6. Unfortunately, 16-24-2 against the spread this season, so that's not very good. 6-14 at home against the spread, not very good. And 5 out of their last 6 games have went under. This is the only game out of their last 6 that have went over. The next team coming up, we play the Bucks in 2 in a row. The Bucks are 7-11 on the road against the spread. So might be something where you think about if we have a full complement of people going against the Bucks, even though maybe people look in the standings and think they're going to beat us up. So check that out on Better Edge.
Yeah, I actually on Better Edge played Miami -2. I got it for +101, and I felt like that was value, and I didn't hit. But that's okay because I got, I felt like I was well positioned, and I got the line that I wanted. To your point, Alex, let's kind of, I guess, look ahead for a little bit to Milwaukee, because if there's anything y'all want to shout out about this game, and if you think that we need to discuss it further, please stop me. But I kind of want to look ahead because it's 2 games against Milwaukee. And I know some around the team have suggested that maybe Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo may not play in those games and that they could be held out. I don't know that that's definitive. Milwaukee hasn't looked good either. But this has just been really bad for Miami. I feel like they're now going to be even more shorthanded if Deadman is not going to be a part of this thing going forward. What's your thoughts as they snuck out this victory, but Milwaukee is not, Oklahoma City and Milwaukee are 2 different situations, and you got 2 games against Milwaukee. I don't suspect that the Bucks will sit anybody necessarily, although they do have their own injury stuff that they're plagued with. Chris Middleton has been out for, a long time. What's your thoughts about Heat Bucks with the 2 games in Miami coming up?
So, yeah, I mean, they're lurking, man. So it's good that they got this win out tonight. They pulled it out because the Bucks are right there. We know the problems that the Bucks can give the Heat, and I'm excited to see it. It's going to be a good test, even without Middleton. Like, that team is pretty dominant defensively. Excuse me. And just in general, I'm excited to see how Bam responds to being defended by those guys. I think that's when the pressure really started to when Heat fans started giving that pressure to Bam was after that Bucks series where he really was not responding to the way that they were defending him. So expecting to see a lot of 9-foot jumpers like the ones that he's been taking all season, and I'm excited to see him do it. But really the only other thing from tonight that we didn't discuss was the Heat lost the turnover battle, and they've been winning that all season. And 1 point off turnover. Let me see. Oh no, excuse me, I read that wrong. No, so the Thunder had 27 points off turnovers, and the Heat had 24. So that right there is a huge thing. They also got out rebounded by 8. And the only other thing I wanted to say, Victor Oladipo, man, looks great. Just when he has it on, like, he's a streaky shooter, but when he's got the shot going, that's when the big point totals come up. And even when he doesn't have the shooting going, he's getting to the rim, man. And I know he got blocked there towards the end, but he's getting to the rim. He's playmaking, and he's defending at a high level. So, yeah, I think they should try to aim to get one of those Bucks wins, but it's going to be a good test.
Yeah, I love what I've seen from Victor Oladipo. Continue to like that he's getting a lot of minutes right now. I think that that's going to be good for him to continue to get reps. I don't know how I feel about a Milwaukee Bucks 2-game set. If Bam and Tyler are not playing, it's obviously going to be this skeleton crew, and I don't know what that line will look like at Better Edge. Shout out to them again, or what any of the players' over-unders will be on Prize Picks. Use the code 5FIVE to get your initial deposit matched up to $100. But Sean, this team was so small tonight. Haywood Highsmith, essentially, they didn't even play Udonis Haslem when they had him. They just continue to size down. Can they really, in good conscience, try to do that against Milwaukee? I don't even think it's viable. Am I crazy to say that? Am I overreacting to what I just witnessed?
Spo's going to have to get in the lab and do something with a crazy zone, a 1-3-1 or something like that. I mean, that's the type of stuff that he probably looks forward to be honest. Milwaukee is on the second night of a back-to-back on the first game. They play tomorrow in Atlanta, then they go to Miami on Thursday. So that's something maybe that can help us in terms of resting guys. But yeah, just try to get a split. But in terms of size, I mean, even if we're at our full complement of everyone, I mean, you're still going to be outsized. So let's just see what happens. And hopefully Bam's out there. Hopefully Tyler's out there. Hopefully Jimmy's out there, obviously. And, see what happens. They've lost 6 out of their last 10. So that's, it's the Bucks, but their depth isn't quite what it is normally. So if it's, if we can give effort, we can compete, try to get a split. And I think I'm happy with a split if we get that this weekend.
Agreed. And Milwaukee, there's also been whispers of them having their own chemistry issues that I don't know how that will get sorted out and what exactly is happening there. We may need to get somebody on from the Milwaukee market, Alex. Remind me to tell Ethan to we need to find a guest to come on and talk Milwaukee Bucks. But Kyle Lowry also was out tonight. I think that that's a player that we need to watch. And Caleb Martin, obviously, with this quad thing, I don't know when he'll be back. It sounds like Bam and Hero are really not nursing injuries that would keep them out if this was a high leverage situation. So that appears to be positive, but we'll see going forward. It's a weird thing where they could be trying to rest guys. What's up?
I'm sorry, they have no shot versus the Bucks without those guys. Forgot to say that part.
Yeah, no, that's very true. We're not going to sugarcoat it here on this program.
Specifically Bam.
To close it out, we're going to shout out one more sponsor and then take questions. Water Cleanup of Florida. When a disaster strikes in your home or business, you need to reach out to Water Cleanup of South Florida. They are, I'm trying to pull up my notes here. Come on, folks. Look at this. This is how the sausage is made, y'all.
We need water cleanup to clean up Orlando Robinson's hands, man.
I apologize. I completely lost my train of thought. And this is my key ad. They have 60 years of combined experience at Water Cleanup of Florida. They can help you with leak detection issues. They're fully licensed, insured, and certified. Their service areas are Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach County. Call Michael anytime on his personal cell, 954-579-0356. They also have a really nice website displayed there, but also you can check it out at wcufl.com, 954-579-0356. Water Cleanup of Florida. If you got the schmutz, they got the guts. Completely fumbled the ad read. Let's close the book here with some comments. Manny Chang on the 1s and 2s. Shout out to him. David comes in with the comment, will Vic ever start and let Kyle run the bench? I don't think that that's going to happen. Do either of you think that they're going to make that move?
No, not yet.
Debo didn't start tonight. He had a chance to start tonight and didn't. I don't see it happening. What else we got? Alex 44343. I love to see Jimmy attack the basket with the game on the line. No need to settle for a mid-range or less 3-point shot, which he can't make consistently. I like to see him get into the basket too. I thought it was a smart play.
2 straight games.
Right. So, and I think that if you continue to do that, good things will happen for this team. So I am in agreement with that. Taru comes in with the national media. We'll see the free throws, not the win. That's fine.
That's all they saw all night. It's so annoying.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? Like, this team has much bigger issues than the national media's perception of them. They need to get some victories. So I kind of feel like that noise kind of gets canceled out while this record is this bad. Like, we would be so lucky to get to worry about their perception of us.
Yeah, it just is what it is at this point, you know.
Kent comes in with Deadman's first year with Miami was so exciting. I'm just trying to figure out what changed. Maybe it's because he's not playing next to a true power forward. I don't know that it's that as much as some guys come in, they give you everything they got, and then the tank is empty. Am I lying? Y'all think I'm wrong for that?
No, it's not even that. I was just the true power forward thing. I don't even think it's that, man. Like, he's looking old and slow because of plantar fasciitis, dude. Like, if he really has that, he should not be out there.
Yeah, that's a debilitating thing.
Oh man.
Uh-oh. Speaking of debilitating.
And
we lost
speaking of
Greg
disasters, when you have a disaster, hit a water cleanup of Florida. I mean, wow. This is a good symbol of the Heat's crunch time offense. Like, sometimes the best players just don't show. Luckily, that wasn't the case tonight. Jimmy, we got the bump, got the pump, the pump fake, got the foul, got the basket, and won the game.
I'll pop in at point guard for Greg here. Craig says, is it safe to say tonight's 40 free throws is a makeup by the NBA after the no call against the Nets? Yes, I believe it is a makeup. The NBA was like, look, we got you, the 2-minute report. I know everybody's upset about it. Let me see what we can do for you. We'll give you a record 40 free throws. Manny, if you want to do one more, then we'll close it up, I guess. All right. Jay says, Spo's going to go mad scientist and come out with UD guarding Giannis. That is going to be a great breakdown. Brady sound on. UD guarding Giannis. Alex, do you think that is a viable option for Thursday?
Absolutely. Start him next to Bam if he's playing, and there you go, man. He's got 6 fouls. Keep Bam out of foul trouble.
He guarded Dirk in the finals. He shut him down. So I think Giannis is just another Thursday in Miami. So sorry, I guess, that Greg is not back. Internet problems. Maybe I don't know. He dipped out like Deadman did, basically, on us. He threw a little massage gun on the floor and then got out of here. So we'll close it up. Thanks to Manny. Thanks to Alex. Thanks to Greg. Make sure you check out 5 on the Floor, 5 Reasons Sports, Better Edge, Water Cleanup. Prize picks, anything else that I forgot? I'm sorry. I'm the backup point guard. See you guys.